Hello, Scorpio. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Bonefire Tarot by Gabby Angus West. Supportive Oracle cards. You Are Clairvoyant Oracle cards by, if I can read it in the viewfinder, Belinda Grace. Illustrations by Elaine Marzin. There you go. Because I want y'all to be able to find that information, or the people, or their stuff, if you want to find their stuff. Okay. What do we got for Scorpio? I'm like having all this like comical energy pop in all of a sudden. So that's not bad. I'm feeling a lot of comical energy coming. Almost like there's somebody you have to deal with that's quite the cut up. Which is funny because when I have experienced Scorpio people, if you're in the mood, it's great. If you're not in the mood, it's really annoying. So I'm wondering how this is going to go. Because Scorpio can be a lot of fun, but you guys can also be very serious. It seems like when you got something to do, it's like, I feel like you hyper focus. I could be wrong. Tell me in the comments. But like, so like I'm feeling this very funny. Let's have fun. Let's get it done. Let's have fun while we get it done. Energy. I think this might be compatible. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. I'm trying to understand if it's working here. I think it is working here. Because I feel like this is a good energy and it seems to be productive while it's funny at the same time. It's fine. Keep going. Okay. Like that energy is like distracting me a little bit. Finding a mentor, Knight of Cups, Ten of Cups is how this is all starting. You need information. You want to know more about something. Whatever it is, this is where this is starting. I need somebody to explain more of this to me. There's information I want here. I need to understand how you put this together. I need to understand why this, when you put this with that, I get that outcome, or what happens if I do this with that. Like, it feels very technical too for a lot of you, in the sense of like, almost like when you're building like a little hut or something, or like a shed outside, kind of like, what do I need to make sure that this actually stays, that the wood is going to hold up, that the rain's not going to get in there and cause problems, that there's going to be enough ventilation that it's not going to cause problems, that I'm not going to have varmint issues. Like, what do I need to do? Where do I need to do it? What type of base do I need to make? I want this to last. I want this to be able to hold up for years to come with minimal maintenance, to where it looks nice, it lasts, and it keeps the things inside safe. Like, I feel like I'm wanting information like that. How do I put this together to know it's going to stay together? Stuff like that. But I'm getting a lot of good information here, a lot of good energy. Finding a mentor with the Knight of Cups is like, you're finding who you want to help you. You know where you want this information to come from, and you're like, okay, now I gotta get this to work out. Now I have to get myself connected. Like, the energy is really good. Energy is really good here. The Ten of Cups is like, that's like this, I know what I want. You find what you know, the information you're looking for, and you know where you want to get it from. You can figure it out. That's the start. Like, all that we went through is like how you're getting involved here. Now, all the Knight of Cups, the Ten of Cups, all that cup energy coming over to the other side with the Queen of Cups is telling me this is somebody with that information. This is that energy. For some of you, it might be like a school situation, or somewhere you're finding out where you're going to get this information. You might be joining a group. You might be even looking at some tutorials online. Whatever it is, you're finding what you want, and the information is there, and it seems to be very compatible with what you're looking for. I've also got the Seven of Wands here. This isn't going to be... This energy, whoever you're going towards, I don't think they understand you. I don't think it's bad. They might have reservations about helping you in the beginning, which is strange. Because for some of you, it's literally information you're gaining, like you might be watching tutorials or something like that. But I almost feel like the way this information comes towards you, it comes at you piece by piece, and it's kind of like a slow and steady. It feels slow and steady, kind of like you need to understand the base parts of this. You need to get the base, or like the, what do you call it, the preliminary pieces. You need to know the ABCs before you can get into the, the bigger words. You need to know the ABCs and how, before you can get into the sentence structure and how this works with that, the conjunctive adjectives and all that good stuff. You got to know your ABCs first. And that seems to be their attitude of how they teach it, how they show people how to do this. You got to know your ABCs first. So they're kind of like, they're very heavy on the basics. There we go. It took me forever to get there. The basics. They're very heavy in like reinforcing and making sure that's understood before we go any farther. Make sure you don't skip this if you're learning this yourself, because I'm getting the basics is where they're telling you a lot more than the basics even during the basics. They may be telling you the ABCs, but it's almost kind of like as they're showing like this is I, but remember I before E except after C, and they're just explaining stuff like that. I'm wondering if that's an outdated rule for some reason. I don't know why, but anyway, that's not not the biggest English. Anyway, moving on. They're going through. They're giving you a lot of extra information during giving you the basics, so don't skip that. And I'm getting like they seem to think, ooh, a lot of people don't get this, a lot of people don't understand this, so they're trying to keep reinforcing the basics. They might constantly use humor as a way to like make those things stick. When this starts off, I don't think this is a problem for you at all, but it does take a minute for you to kind of like really catch on to like, why are we repeating this stuff? There might be a slight aggravation just in the beginning because it seems like this might be a little bit daunting. But I feel like as the basics keep getting repeated, there's little new information slipped in there here and there. A little bit of new thing slipped here and slipped there, and you're catching it. You're catching it. It's almost like this puzzle that like gives little bonuses here and there. Just like you're not expecting it at first, but then you're starting to see like reinforcing the basics with little bonuses here and there, here and there. I think it starts to become a little bit like a game, kind of like I want to make sure I pay attention so I can hear the bonuses, so I don't miss out on the bonuses. More information comes forward. I feel like as this keeps going, for those of you dealing with a person, they're going to start giving you more stuff, and they're going to start coming at you quicker when they realize that not only you're catching on to the basics very easily, but you're also snapping into those bonuses. Like, oh, the bonuses. Like you're accumulating these bonuses, like bonus information. Like you're catching on, you're clicking into it, you're hearing them, and they like that. That's exciting them. Like, ooh, you're getting the basics, but you're also getting the extra. Okay, this is a little bit advanced. This is like that Scorpio energy is coming through. They're like, oh, this person's pretty sharp. They pretty much got it. Like they're paying attention and they're getting on board with it. Another thing that's getting you ahead here, even if you're just kind of like going through some type of tutorial and you're watching something online, knowing when you need help in like researching it and asking, like looking at different sources if necessary, but the asking for help is what's pushing you forward. If there's somebody directly you're dealing with, they actually really like that you're asking for help. The fact that you're not just kind of absorbing and trying to make up your own mind how something's supposed to happen. If you're not really sure and you're asking and getting the correct answer, that seems to be also getting you more accolades, kind of like, well, you got that, you got the basics, you got the bonuses, you knew something wasn't right and you asked instead of just going off on your own. Now, it's like you're exciting this person. If you're dealing with somebody directly, you're exciting them because they're like, that shows them that you have potential to really take this far. To do what you can do with it, to pay attention, and to ask when you need to ask, and to know that you need to ask. That seems to be really impressing whoever this is. The asking for help. When you ask for help because you know you need to, and you don't hesitate, like Scorpio I don't think has a problem with that anyway. When you're like, I need the information, I'll just ask, and you just go. This person doesn't seem to understand your energy at first, but the more they get to know you, the more they like this. They really like, I feel like they're really starting to really like you. This also is coming in psychic conversations. It's almost like the universe is almost kind of like giving you those nudges, like ask. Instead of doing that, just ask. Like you're getting those nudges. I feel like Scorpio is a water sign, Cancer, Pisces, they're all water signs. You tend to have a bit of intuitiveness on your own. That your intuitiveness is helping you kind of like ask. Instead of the information downloading like this is probably a good idea to do it this way, instead of that, your intuitiveness might be coming through like ask now. That's kind of like bonding you tighter with the situation. This is good. It seems to be bonding you tighter because I'm also getting the Two of Cups here. Is it the Two of Cups or the Lovers? It's the Two of Cups. I'm getting like this is bonding you with the situation very tightly. Something about the asking and getting out there with that information and putting out feelers is tying you into other possibilities. It's not just about impressing somebody, because I don't want it to be about that. It's not what I'm really feeling from this. it's kind of like you asking is also opening other doors to other opportunities, is what I'm getting. There's good cards coming in. There's like a lot of good cards. Jeez. Like, I'm a little jealous I'm not a Scorpio right now, because like this looks really good. You asking is really opening more doors. Self-acceptance, people are accepting you in. Something about that asking for help, I just feel like it's showing a level of humility that people really respond to. And they're kind of like, oh, well, this is like when somebody can help you, it just makes them feel great. And it also makes them want you to be a part of it, because they don't think you're the type of person where they constantly have to help. That's the thing. I think that's the catch-22. You ask when you need to, but you're not constantly asking frivolous questions. You're not asking the same question over and over. You ask a question, okay, that's what I need to do with that, perfect. You don't constantly ask questions, you ask intelligent questions. I know people get bent out of shape when I go down this road, but some questions just, they can hurt you more than help you. You gotta think them through. If you keep asking somebody how to tie your shoes, I'm just saying people get an opinion about that. That's all I'm saying. If you're the type of person that asks how to tie your shoes and then you remember and then you ask how to tie them a better way, that's a different story. But if you're constantly asking the same question, people notice that. If you're asking things that people think are more elementary skills, like, how do you add 1 + 1? If you're asking questions like that, people tend to like wonder. I'm just saying. So the questions you're asking are not like, how do I add 1 + 1? You're asking like, I have five of these over here and 5 of those over there, and they're not matching. Is there another way I can get those to come together? That's an intelligent question. Like, I have this over here, that over here. I don't know if I can get these to work together. Is there a way to make that happen? Because I would like these all in the same boat. That's an intelligent question. Okay, I don't know. The way you're asking questions, like, you're not asking frivolous questions. Sometimes you come across people in life that just ask questions to ask questions. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. That's not what you're doing, but that's obnoxious. Like, people just asking questions just so they can ask a question. So like, what do you like, hearing your own voice? Like, what are you doing? I don't know why I'm having a peeve about that at the moment, but I am. I'm just kind of like, ask a question that you actually need an answer for. Don't ask a question just to ask a question. It's just so annoying. This energy is over here. Past lives, messages, integrity, and the Hanged Man. There's going to be a point the Hanged Man shows up not because you're stuck, but because you don't know if you really want to keep going for some reason. That's your Hanged Man. Not like somebody's saying, oh, I don't know. Like, not like they're shutting the door, turning off the lights and locking it. And like, well, come back tomorrow. That's not what's happening here. The reason the Hanged Man is coming in is kind of like, I know when I get involved in something, I'm going to get full board into it, and it's going to take up a lot of my time. That's what I feel with past lives. It's kind of like, I've done similar things, and I know what type of a person I am. If I get really knee-deep into this, I'm going to stay in it. That's going to change some things in my life. Messages with integrity. Messages are telling me you have other things around you that you have possibilities with. And maybe other responsibilities. I almost feel like this is a little bit screwed up. There we go. You may have other possibilities. You have to decide how you're going to balance your life. Because it seems like whatever this is, it's going to take in a lot of your time. And you're like, all right, if I'm going to do this, I want to do this, and I'm going to put in a lot of energy. Where am I going, like, what am I going to move around in my life to make room for this? Because you're going to need to, because I feel like you're a very busy person. That's your Hanged Man. Do I really want to do this, and what am I going to move around in my life to make this happen? You're the person deciding. You're the person with the Hanged Man. You're the person with that energy. It stays in that moment for only a short time, but it's basically saying you either have to let this opportunity go, or you have to move forward with it, whatever you want. But if you move forward with it, you got to make space for it. We're cool. We're cool. We're cool. I don't feel bad about it. I just feel like it's kind of like one of those moments where I have to make a decision. What am I going to do? Ace of Cups with the movement. Like, this is like, I consider this like the party card. I just feel like it's really, really enticing you. It really, really looks good. It's just kind of like, it's going to take up a lot of my time. It's going to consume a lot of my life. I really do want it, but is this the right thing for me? Something else, you're going to have to make room for it in your life. You really are. is what I'm getting. But there's so much good here. The Ace of Cups with the part. I feel like this. I want to call it the party card. It says music and movement, but it's kind of like, is it always going to be that good? I don't know. Do I want to let this pass me up? I don't know. There's reasons you have reservations about this. Kind of like, what are the things do I have going on in my life? Is this going to conflict with other responsibilities I have? Can I do this? Can I not do this? Meditation with rewards. You have to decide what means most to you in your life. Apparently, if I can keep these on camera, that would be helpful. Okay. Whatever you choose, something is going to change. I don't see Scorpios usually passing up opportunities. When you're passionate about something, it's hard for you to do that. That's what I'm getting. Even if you pass, I don't think most of you are going to pass this up, but if you pass this up, you still are going to reevaluate what you're doing in your life and what you're spending time on. Some of you might feel like, not now. I want to, but I don't think right now. And you have to back up into your life and be like, I have to reorganize some things. I have to make space, and then after I have space, I'll come back and I'll do this then. The rewards with meditation, like, you have to decide what's right for you. For some of you, literally, this might be just the point where you have to audit your own life and decide what needs to stay and what needs to go. For others of you, you have to just commit to this, like, you know what, I'm going to have to change some things in my life, but I don't want this opportunity to pass. And you're just accepting that things will change because of that. This is a great opportunity. The Tower card is coming, but I feel like it's basically it's again under your control about when that Tower comes over. It's kind of like the storm isn't happening, but you're like, the storm is coming, and this tower is rickety. And I'm going to knock it over before it falls over. It's one of those things. It's kind of like, how am I going to knock it over? What am I going to do with the things? Am I going to take it apart from the inside so I can salvage some of this? Am I just going to push it over? Because you might. It's up to you. But I feel like that's what we're moving towards. Like, whether you take this opportunity or not is completely in your control. It's more about reevaluating your life and doing that self-audit and kind of like, you know what? I need to reconstruct some of this. So to reconstruct it, I have to first deconstruct part of it, at least part of it, and then I have to decide what I'm going to do. There's like a self-audit moment here. You have better rewards coming in. It's very curious to me, like, whatever this whole situation is, I'm not convinced whether you are or not going to take it. I feel like this is leading you to the moment of like looking at your own life and like, you know what? Not all of this can stay. I have to get rid of some of this, and I have to keep some of this. I have to decide what I really want, and I have to get rid of what's really not working here for me. That seems to be leading you to that moment. And I feel like they're giving you the heads up about this. It's kind of like you have the ability to like go towards that early. It's like you might be watching this reading and be kind of like, well, I think, yeah, if I decide to go farther with this, at some point I will have to like remove something so I can have time for this. But I feel like what they're saying is like, yeah, you're going to end up in that moment where you have to reevaluate what you're going to keep and what you're not anyway. It's coming to that moment where you're going to have to clean house. It's time to get rid of the things that aren't working, and I feel like that's what this whole thing is moving you towards. It's like, it's time to look at what's not working for you and dispose of it as necessary. I feel like it's almost like life is cornering you. Kind of like, you're letting things kind of slide past. You're letting things kind of exist here that don't have a purpose anymore. So they're almost kind of like cornering you. Kind of like, it's time to evaluate what needs to stay and what needs to go and get rid of what needs to go. I can't get around it. That's what they're pushing for. So I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.